Gaano nga ba kaligtas yung mga kalsada natin sa Pilipinas? Recently, ang dami nating nababalita ang mga road crashes and unfortunate incidents sa kalsada. At hindi lang mga cyclist ang involved sa mga insidenteng to. Meron ding mga pedestrians, mga bystanders, at maski mga nasa loob ng sasakyan. This year, mula May 15 to 21, ino-observe ng buong mundo ang Global Road Safety Week initiated by the United Nations. The world is observing it for 7 years at ngayong taon, sustainable transport ang focus. Kamusta tayo, Pilipinas? Nakaka-keep up ba tayo? This is Lester Babiera and you are listening to Tambike Session, an Anima podcast. Makakakwentuhan ko ngayon ng isang mobility and cycling advocate na very passionate sa kanyang advocacy in making our roads safe for everyone. Kasama natin ngayon si Tina Batalla from Make It Safer Movement and Move As One Coalition. Hi Tina, welcome back to Tambike Session.
Thank you for having me again. Hi Lester.
Ayan, second time na dito ni Tina sa podcast na to and it's great to have you here at marami kang insights, I'm pretty sure. So, kamusta ka? Have you ever felt safe recently traveling around Metro Manila?
Oh God, no.
No talaga? Okay. Can you explain why?
Alam mo, Lester, ever since I started riding my bike, cycling as transport in around 2020, I've always found joy in riding my bike, especially bilang babae, kasi it gave me a lot of freedom to move around and, really discover my home, the city that I live in, Metro Manila. But not gonna lie, as much as there have been a lot of benefits, it has made me fear for my life now more than ever. It's made me angrier. More often than not, on some bad days, talagang it takes a toll on my mental health. And I know that I don't even have it worse. Other people who really ride long distances around the city, go home to unsafe roads and unsafe homes, have it much worse than I do.
Yan. Tama ka naman. Cycling brings joy talaga. And at the same time, it can bring stress as well and fear, especially sa mga buhay natin. Ako naman, recently, grabe, sobrang daming, siguro dahil madami na yung sasakyan on the road, yung madami ng hazards on the road, madami ng bike lanes na nawawala at disregard. Ako din I felt a little bit unsafe compared nung nagbabike ako nung early months of the pandemic. Recently kanina lang merong sasakyan na sobrang close sa akin. Gusto niya akong dikitan at muntik na akong sumemplang while I'm traversing the roads here sa Metro Manila. Alam mo, Tina, we've heard so many horror stories on the road, especially recently. Tapos hindi lang involved dito yung mga siklista. Andyan yung aksidente sa La Union, yung aksidente well, I don't want to call it accident. Yung road crash sa La Union, yung road crash sa Commonwealth, and so on and so forth. And it's very timely that now is Global Road Safety Week. For you, bakit importante to promote road safety in the Philippines?
Marami ng taon na merong nagkakampanya for road safety. At hindi ito biro kasi talagang crisis na siya. So we're not just facing a transportation crisis, we're also facing a public health crisis with the number of people who are dying due to this. I have to verify my data, but as far as I know, it is among the top 5 leading causes of death. And here according to the Global Road Safety Facility, 77% of road crash fatalities and injuries are among the economically productive age groups. So between 15 to 64 years old ang mga namamatay. And an average of around 34 to 38 people die.
Grabe.
Get badly injured every day due to these road crashes. And, it's really important that we recognize the language. Hindi ito laging aksidente. Crash ang
Correct. Tama.
tinawag natin aksidente o disgrasya, parang sinasabi din natin na wala tayong magagawa, na it couldn't be preventable. But we know from, you know, from research, from lessons learned in our history and urban development, these deaths could be prevented if only we have good human-centric design and a systems approach to how we, design our cities and our roads.
Yeah, and at the same time, well, in the stories that we've read, we've seen, yung mga road crashes dito sa kalsada natin, ang mga involved dito ay mga motorista, mga sasakyan, those people na merong lisensya. And kaya hindi natin siya kailangan tawagin or hindi natin siya tinatawag na aksidente dahil itong mga to, meron silang lisensya na dapat responsable sila kapag may hawak silang manibela dahil meron silang sasakyan na puwedeng pumatay at makapanakit ng mga tao at siyempre 'di ba, dapat alam nila kung paano, maging responsable sa ating mga kalsada. Ako naman personally, importante sa'kin yung pag-promote ng road safety in the Philippines. Kasi dati I have to admit before medyo wala akong gano'ng feelings about it na parang, okey merong namatay, okey, there's another, incident. Pero nung ako na yung nasa kalsada, nung ako na yung vulnerable user on the road, dun ko na-realize na, well, nagsimula siya parang parang very selfish yung dating 'no, na, "Oh my God, parang puwedeng ako 'to ha, puwedeng ako yung susunod na biktima." And then, I did first bike ride, ta's gumawa ako ng mga stories about, uh, itong mga road crashes na 'to, mga siklistang namatay, and sobrang nakakainis na bakit 'to nangyayari. At kung makikita mo, very ridiculous yung dahilan kung bakit nawawala yung mga buhay ng mga tao. Halimbawa sa Pateros, merong namatay nung February 2022 dahil sa isang drunk driver galing sa isang Christmas party. Dahil sa isang party during the holiday season. So alam mo yun, parang sayang yung buhay ng isang tao. Halimbawa, meron din sa Mall of Asia, dalawang actually siklista pero bystanders sila during that time. Nakatambay lang sila sa sidewalk pagkatapos nilang mag-ensayo mag-laps dun sa Mall of Asia. Tapos nabangga sila at napatay ng isang driver na walang lisensya at lasing din. Alam mo yun, sobrang nakakainis, sobrang nakakagalit. Kaya parang para sa'kin ang daming, parang gusto kong i-promote at the same time gusto kong malaman ng mga tao na dapat maging responsable sila at maging safe yung kalsada natin dahil ayoko ng merong malamang balita na merong buhay na nawala dahil sa recklessness ng ibang tao. And tama ka, Tina, yung design talaga nung kalsada, very siya it really helps, you know, minimize these incidents. 'Di ba galing kang Melbourne recently? Ano 'yun 'no, parang sa tingin mo malaki yung pagkakaiba ng disenyo ng kalsada natin sa kalsada nila?
Maraming similarities in some areas at meron ding differences. But I made it a point to observe ano ba yung difference sa kalsada, lalo na sa mga residential and school zones. Kasi napansin ko na meron talagang specific na disenyo para mas mapakalma yung mga driver. Um, there are not only physical barriers, there are also signs, and also visuals that really nudge yung behavior ng drivers to slow down. Kasi ironically kung napapansin mo sa Pilipinas, gets naman ng mga tao na kung merong lugar na unsafe, na dangerous. Pero yung nilalagay lang ng mga ahensya ay mga signages. So all they say is, bawal tumawid, nakamamatay dito,
May
or
namatay na dito, mga gano'n.
may namatay dito, slow down, accident-prone area. So parang hanggang salita lang.
At bakit
Eh,
tao ang mag-a-adjust, 'di ba?
o 'di ba? Parang, kailan ba naging effective yung sign lang? 'Di ba? And even paint in itself is not protection, especially for us cyclists. I want to share nga there's this framework, it's called the safe system approach that I learned from Alisa Belda. So siya yung one of the lead co-organizers ko sa mismo. And there's such thing as the safe system approach. And the goal is not just to minimize injuries and deaths, but to actually get to zero. Vision
Mm.
zero is the goal.
Tama,
And
dapat
safe
wala.
systems is
Zero
how we
talaga.
get. 'Di ba? Parang we have to imagine a world where nobody, absolutely nobody has to die from vehicle crashes. And share ko ito yung mga principles niya. So, one, in the safe system principle, we agree that death or serious injury is unacceptable. Two, humans make mistakes. Three, humans are vulnerable. Fourth, responsibility is shared. Fifth, safety is proactive. And sixth, redundancy is crucial. So it's all about making sure that every human life, and all modes of transport are valued on the road. At meron tayong shared responsibility to ensure na walang vulnerable sa kalsada. At unfortunately, no, sa transport systems natin, and even in barangay level roads, hindi ganun yung lens and yung way of thinking natin. And really a lot has to be changed in the way we think about our streets and how we design our cities. It's a long way to go, but I think we can get there.
Tama. Ang ganda nun, no? Dapat walang vulnerable sa kalsada. Well, paminsan-minsan, masaya, maganda rin naman maging vulnerable, di ba? Pero sa kalsada, X yan. Zero tayo
Uy!
dapat dyan. Di ba? Tama.
Actually, nga we should have an approach na everything we do, everything we design, we should have the most vulnerable in mind. Maganda yung binanggit mo kanina na it starts with an almost selfish thing na with the thought, this could have been me. Diba? It could have been me who got hit on the road today. It could have been me who died. Important yun, yung value for empathy. Kasi it really helps you think and question, especially kung may privilege ka and if you're in a position of power wherein your decisions will shape or affect many lives.
Yeah. Tapos parang mas maapektuhan ka din kapag may kakilala ka na, alam mo yun, na napunta sa ganitong sitwasyon na very unfortunate, nabangga, or, nasagi, napinahan. Ikaw ba, Tina, as a cyclist, have you experienced being unsafe on the road? Getting hit by a vehicle, sumemplang dahil sa obstruction, or meron ka bang anyone close to you, or nakarinig ka na ba ng stories? Ganyan, ng mga, about road crashes or any unfortunate incidents.
Siyempre sa atin, marami na tayong kilala at hindi ako proud sabihin yun. So recently, one of the students who got killed in La Union, they were just walking on a national road sa San Juan. He was the one who got killed. Kapitbahay ko siya, childhood friend. He was only 19. He's called Aldrich, but his name, we call him A3. That's his nickname. And it really came as a shock. Alam mo, nung una kong nakita yung article, admittedly, no, I was saddened. Pero medyo pinalampas ng utak ko kasi anonymous yung sa headline eh. But when I was scrolling through my Facebook, I saw my neighbor, yung older sister, post na namatay yung kapatid niya, na kapitbahay ko. Gulat na gulat ako. Parang, ano ba yung nangyari? I scrolled down to her post. She links the exact article that I scrolled past. At siya pala yun. To think, no, they were just walking. They
At sa
were
side road ng La
sa sidewalk.
Union. Yeah, sa
Diba?
shoulder. Yeah.
And talagang naapektuhan ako noon kasi kilala ko na yung tao. At hindi lang yun, small world nga eh. Isa sa mga na-injure, na kabarkada pala ni A3, na kapatid ng eh, isa sa mga member ng bike community. 'Di ba? And honestly, yun nga, it's getting closer and closer to home. Na sarili nating mga kaibigan, mga kapitbahay, kakilala, yung naapektuhan. Kaya sobrang important na meron tayong sense of empathy at hindi tayo nasasanay sa ganitong klaseng balita. Hindi natin pwedeng tanggapin yun. Kasi balang
Mm.
araw, tayo rin, mangyayari din sa atin yun. At gugustuhin ba nating makalimutan yung nangyari sa atin? Dahil tinanggap na lang ng iba.
Yeah, sobrang nakakalungkot. Alam mo, Tina, I've been writing stories about road crashes. Medyo nasasad ako na, after a few years, biglang nakakalimutan na nga ng mga tao. Kaya, at nakaka-frustrate na every time I write about these stories, like as a throwback or as a reminder, parang dun lang naaalala ng mga tao na, ay, nangyari pala to. Meron palang, well, it's good na, we remember at least once a year, pero nakaka-frustrate na hanggang remembering na lang ba tayo? Bakit hindi natin ayusin na sana wala nang mangyari ulit na ganitong insidente? Naalala ko tuloy itong there's this one recent news na sobrang naapektuhan ako. Naalala ko to na, kasi nasa kami nito nasa Magdamag Market Cafe. Kasama ko si kaibigan nating si Ira Cruz. So nagkikwentuhan kami, ganyan, the scroll ako sa social media. Tapos nabasa ko yung kwento about this traffic enforcer na
Mm.
na nagligtas ng siklista dahil sa may Cloverleaf sa Quezon City. Tapos biglang siyang nabangga while protecting cyclists and pedestrian na tumatawid. Nabangga siya ng truck, sasakyan. Tapos parang sabi ni Ira, "Uy, yun mangyayari sa'yo." Kasi parang teary-eyed na ako nun eh. Sabi ko, "Ira, basahin mo tong balita na to." Sobrang affected ako kasi isipin mo hindi siya siklista, pero at the same time, parang the traffic enforcer, si Mr. Jeffrey Antolin, pinoprotektahan niya tayo. Tapos parang ako, bakit gano'n? Bakit may kailangang mamatay? Alam mo 'yun? Protecting other people na dapat safe sila kasi pedestrian lane 'yun, na dapat humihinto talaga yung mga sasakyan. Ano bang problema? Ano bang meron sa atin? And then that's when I realized na, shit, ano talaga, ang lala kung paano dinidisenyo yung kalsada natin. That road kasi malapit 'yun sa bayan ng pinsan ko. Ang hirap talaga tumawid dun, ang hirap tumawid even before nung ginawa yung skyway. Buwis-buhay talaga yung pag-cross from one side to another and sobrang hirap. Kaya parang naisip ko, ano, hanggang dito na lang ba tayo? Hanggang ganito na lang ba tayo? Tapos parang hindi lang yun may mga minor things pa. Like, ako naman personal experience ko, alam mo yun, there was this time, 1 month na parang baldado yung kamay ko, yung left hand ko kasi na-shoot yung road bike ko sa isang drainage na
Mm.
bago pa lang ako nito baguhang siklista pa lang ako And hanggang ngayon, sa may Pinoval 'to, sa may malapit sa UST, na-shoot. Tapos parang nag-ano ako, nag 180 degree turn yung bisikleta. Yeah, yeah. Tapos natukod ko
Uy,
naman yung kamay ko, pero as in medyo baldado yung left hand ko nun. Or
shucks.
sorry, right hand ko, baldado. Tapos parang ngayon, pag dumadaan ako dun, ganun pa din yung drainage. So madami pa ding pwedeng lumusot dun. So ako parang, ano na to? Ano na nangyayari Pilipinas? Ano nangyayari Sampaloc, Manila? So, it's very sad. Kaya nakakatuwa na ang daming advocates na pinupush pa rin na alam mo yun, na sumusulat, nakikipag-usap. And to be fair, marami namang mga LGUs na umaaksyon sa uh, mga reactions and mga reklamo ng mga tao. Ikaw, any more stories to share na mga insidenteng ganyan?
Honestly, ano parang grateful nga ako sa community na tuloy-tuloy yung pag-speak up natin sa ganitong klase mga incidents. Um, tawag dito, ah, every day, unfortunately, meron tayong kaibigan na either, yun nga, muntik na masagasaan, na close pass, or talagang lumangga, 'di ba? At sobrang big blow yun sa moral, hindi lang nung tao, pero sa ating mga communities and friendships. But, you know, I still do not give up hope. Kasi nga yung sinabi mo na hindi puwedeng hayaan lang natin na manatiling gano'n. One of the visions and next steps that we have in mind, yun nga, dito sa Make It Safer movement, is to figure out how we can better organize yung emerging community of advocates. Yung mas strengthen and connect pa natin yung mga geographically near each other. Kasi, so alam mo, sobrang dami nating energy, lalo na online. And I think it's high time that we work again towards re-steering those energies into very productive civic action, such as, filing formal complaints, reporting violations, engaging local governments from barangay to even municipal and city level government, showing them evidence of why our roads need to be transformed, and also what kinds of design, policy, and budget changes that can be made and implemented very easily para hindi na nauulit yung ganong klaseng crashes. Important talaga, Lester, na mas pinapalakas natin yung boses natin, binabahagi natin yung mga kwentong ito, hindi lang randomly online to friends. Kailangan naririnig din 'to ng mga government officials natin. Marami kasi sa kanila nakakalimutan na nangyayari 'to. Tulad natin or iba sa'tin, nasanay na lang din sila. And hindi kasi sila everyday commuters. Karamihan sa kanila hindi everyday commuters, hindi siklista, pero mga car riders. Kaya hindi nila nararamdaman yung empathy na pinag-usapan natin kailangan. So tayo, meron tayong boses, meron tayong kwento at karanasan at kapangyarihan na pwedeng ibahagi para mabago. Mabago at maipababa yung numero na shinare ko kanina na 34 to 38 average. That has to be 0.
Alam mo, tita, nakaka-inspire nga yung community, yung movement, like what you said. I've shared this with you, even with sa mga iba nating kaibigan, na ako personally, nawawalan na ako ng motivation. There are times na nawawalan ako ng motivation sa advocacy kasi nga parang walang nangyayari. Parang ano na 'to, ingay-ingay na lang sa social media pero parang wala namang aksyon. And then, Make It Safer movement happened. Tapos parang, mas lalo ako na-inspire. Alam mo yan? Na parang, okay, sige, balik tayo sa advocacy kasi mukhang may patutunguhan tayo. And this community is really something na very inspiring na, alam mo yun, na magpatuloy sa pakikipaglaban. So ayun, very, very, I just like to take this opportunity to thank the people na, alam mo yun, na parang, nag-spark ulit ng, ng, ng fire sa puso ko na mag-advocate. Ayun.
Marami ka namang source of inspiration, Lester.
Yes,
Ako
totoo
din.
yan. Madami akong source of inspiration. Para ipagpatuloy ang pakikipaglaban for safer roads. Dina, ikaw, for you, how safe is it to bike in the Philippines? Change topic tayo.
Nakakainis ka! May sasabihin pa ako kanina eh. Pero sige, just, ikaw naman yung host dito.
Sige, pero kung gusto mong sabihin, go lang, continue.
Hindi, shout out syempre sa mga senior organizers ng Move as One Coalition. Nagsimula ng mga ito.
Shout out sa inyo.
Anyway.
Ayan, go.
Siguro on a scale of 1 to 5, mga 2.
2 grabe. Okay, 2. Sige, go. Bakit 2?
May share na naman akong framework sa'yo. Yung
sa ating mga listeners, yes.
The design principles for bike lane. So, the NACTO Urban Bikeway Design Guide, shinare na to ni Anton, sometime online, even si Eli.
Go Anton and
Um,
Eli, shout out sa inyo kung nakikinig man kayo ngayon. Si Tina Batalla pala, isa sa mga lead organizers ng Make It Safer movement at isa ring active member ng Move as One Coalition na very aktibong nakikipag-usap sa mga government officials na tas mga gumagawa sila ng mga nag-organize sila ng movement para ligtas ang ating mga kalsada para sa mga commuters, para sa mga transport workers. Ayun, ano Tina ang i-share mo?
so, meron tayong design principles for good bicycle infrastructure. And it comes from CROW, CROW. Okay. So first we have cohesion, connecting origins and destinations, meaning you can cycle from anywhere to anywhere. Directness, creating short and fast routes, making sure you minimize detours. So kapag ang network bike lane network ay direkta. Hindi mo kailangang maghanap ng mga back road, side road just to make sure you're safe.
Tama. Ayaw natin na back road lang tayo.
Gusto natin maging main road. So third is safety. In the design, you make sure to segregate or avoid different transport modes that are varying in speed and mass, and we need to create homogeneous traffic flows. Fourth is comfort. So as much as possible, there are minimal stops or nuisances. Kailangan maging komportable ang experience ng pagbike. And finally, attractiveness. So cycle paths have to be as much as possible green, open, well-maintained, and ito, quiet.
Parang walang ganyan sa
Imagine,
Pilipinas. Sa mga pinagsasabi mo, parang hindi tayo nag-qualify.
imagine city streets that are quiet.
I know. Walang bubusina sa'yo.
Oo. So yun, based on principles of cohesion, directness, safety, comfort, and attractiveness, in fact, maybe I would even lower down our rating to 1.5.
Ito ko yung may pag-downgrade.
Hindi. Pero naniniwala ako, kasi meron namang projects ang ating Department of Transportation and other local governments that are in the pipeline to improve the bike lane networks in major roads across the country. Take note, nagsimula lang talaga ang ganitong mga proyekto, major infrastructure projects around 2020, 2021. And it's only 2023. So if we continue this momentum,
Yes, tama.
we continue the advocacy, I am sure our active transport infrastructure will improve. It really takes patience and time and community effort to really get our bike lanes up to standard.
Yes.
Yeah, and ano naman makikita natin sa data, sa trajectory ng for one, the market for bicycles, it's booming. We don't see it going down anytime soon. Marami pang mga Pilipino ang mabubudol sa bicycle.
Tama. Yun ang goal natin dito, mambudol ng mga tao. And di na sa sinabi mo, alam mo, may pag-asa. Merong pag-asa ang Pilipinas. Like what you said, kailan lang 2021, 2 years na ngayon, ang daming nangyari, ang daming development. So, sana magpatuloy, 'di ba? Sana walang tinatanggal na bike lane. Sana walang nininipisan na bike lane, 'di ba? From 3 meters to 1.5, ganyan. 'Di ba? Sana
Yun talaga yung kailangan natin ipaglaban. Alam mo, Lester, meron tayong budget Malaki ang billions. Ang budget for active transport. Maraming projects in the pipeline. We just have to make sure these are implemented well. Kaya important, Hindi lang boses ko, hindi lang yung work ng mga nasa coalition and government ang mahalaga. Kailangan patuloy na nagrereklamo.
tama, mga
At
reklamador.
nagbabahagi.
At dapat
Nagbabahagi ng kwento yung mga even ordinary citizens kasi at the end of the day, para sa atin to.
At dapat malaman ng madaming tao. Alam mo, Tina, the focus this year ay ng ng United Nations Global Road Safety Week ay focused sa sustainable transport. So ikaw, what are your thoughts, wishes, or what do you want to say to people, institutions na mayroong power to make our road safer for active transport users? Mga nasa gobyerno, mga may kapangyarihan, mga private entities na kayang baguhin ang disenyo ng ating mga kalsada.
Sa lahat na may kapangyarihan na magdesisyon para sa bayan, every time you sign a paper, approve a project or a program, especially for the city, think of yourself as someone who belongs to one of the most vulnerable sectors in our society. Think of yourself as physically disabled person, even other forms of disability. Isipin mo, pilay ka, bingi, bulag, pipe. Or isipin mo, matanda ka na, uugod-ugod, a wheelchair. Isipin mo, buntis ka, o bata ka, na hindi pa edukado, hindi nakakabasa, hindi marunong mag-Ingles. O isipin mo, babae ka, na laging tinititigan ng mga lalaki, pinapanood kung anong suot mo. Ito yung mga klaseng, mga grupo, sektor, sa lipunan natin na madalas hindi pinapansin. Hindi lang sa transport and mobility, but in all other kinds of, important advocacies, even in labor, in health, everywhere. So I urge everyone to always put yourself in the shoes of someone who isn't as healthy as you, who isn't as educated, isn't as strong. Remember that it's not their fault that they live the way they do. We all have collective responsibility towards those who are most unnoticed, who are shunned, and treated the lowest in our society. Because one day that could be us, and that could be you. And you'll realize na all this time, you've been left in the dark. You'll feel that no one has cared about you. And when that day comes, you'll realize we should have been fighting for you all along.
Yun, tama. Ganda, 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 ganda. Ganda, Miss Tina Batalya. Sana talaga makinig sila. At sana magkaroon talaga ng empathy yung mga taong may kapangyarihan. Kasi alam naman natin na kaya nila eh. Pero paano yung ibang tao? Paano yung, tama ka, paano yung mga buntis? Paano yung mga nanay? Paano yung mga may kapansanan? 'Di ba? Ano?
Bata!
Bata. Paano yung mga bata? 'Di ba? Sana makinig. Ako naman yun yung yun yung message ko sa kanila. Sana makinig. Kasi hindi man sila nagko-commute, pero yung mga boses ng mga taong nagrereklamo, yung mga boses ng mga taong nagsasabi ng kanilang mga hinaing, sila talaga yung nakaka-experience nito. At sana makinig kasi kung ayaw man nila ma-experience yung pagpamimisiklet or pagko-commute, paglalakad, sana makinig sila dun sa mga taong gumagamit ng kalsada na ito yung experience namin, ito yung nangyayari dito. At sana ayusin nyo kasi kaya kayo nandyan sa posisyon na yan ay para ayusin, hindi para mag-sitting pretty, hindi para magkaroon ng sarili nyong credentials, hindi para, mag-photo op, kundi para ayusin yung mga buhay namin. Ng mga taong dapat pinagsisilbihan ninyo. At
maintindihan na pag inayos nila yun, giginhawa din yung buhay nila. Pare-pareho lang naman tayong dumadaan sa kalsada eh. Di ba?
Tama yan, tama. Pare-pareho naman tayong at siyempre ayaw na nating mabalitaan yung mga taong namamatay, taong naaksidente, at taong alam mo yun, ah, na nasisira ang buhay dahil sa mga pangit na infrastruktura at pangit na kalsada. Alam mo, nakakalungkot man, at nakakagalit. Sa totoo lang, nakakagalit. Malaman yung mga unfortunate incidents na to sa ating mga kalsada. Pero at the end of the day, may iwasan yan. If our roads are designed to be safe, lalo na for the vulnerable road users. Kaya let's keep our governments, individuals, and other institutions na may power to change na gawing safe yung mga kalsada natin, lalo na for sustainable transport. And Tina, ang ganda ng mga insights mo, as always. So, maraming salamat for joining me dito sa ating episode. Dapat may iba pa kaming kasama, pero hindi sila nakarating. So,
Oo,
kaya
wala traffic.
kaya nagkwentuhan. Sana naman walang nangyaring masama sa kanila, 'di ba? Pero
Mm.
uh, ayun. Again, Tina, maraming salamat for joining me dito sa episode na 'to. At tamang-tama nagse-celebrate tayo ngayon ng ng Global Road Safety Week. At sana may patunguhan yung mga reklamo, yung mga pinaglalaban nating lahat. Again, Tina, and to our listeners, maraming salamat for joining us. Sa ating mga listeners, magkwentuhan ulit tayo sa susunod na episode ng Tambike Session.